Hamster has a confession. He has courses on AI agents, a full program on index fund investing, a calligraphy kit that is still in the box. Oh, and a tax and accounting course that Hamster purchased in January because Hamster was going to finally understand his finances this year. It is now June. Hamster has not opened a single one. And last Tuesday, Hamster saw a new course on Notion templates. Hamster bought it. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. When you bought that course, that book, that $300 annual subscription to the platform you've logged into twice, you weren't buying knowledge. You were buying the feeling of becoming a better person. And that feeling? It peaks the moment you hit confirm order. Then it quietly disappears, right around the time you'd actually have to, open the thing. Part 1. Meet the Magpie Brain. Let's introduce the real culprit here. The Magpie Brain. Magpies are fascinating birds. They have this well-known instinct they're drawn to shiny things. Bright objects, glittery surfaces, anything that catches the light. They'll swoop in, grab it, carry it back to the nest. And then they just leave it there. The nest fills up with bottle caps and foil wrappers and little bits of mirror. The magpie doesn't use any of it. Doesn't need any of it. The collecting is the point. The having is the reward. Now look at Hamster's browser history. There's a Skillshare tab, a Masterclass tab, a PDF called The Ultimate Guide to Deep Work that has been sitting in the Downloads folder since March of last year. Hamster's Magpie Brain looks at a course the same way a magpie looks at a piece of tinfoil. It sees something shiny, something that promises transformation, something that says, the person who owns this is smarter, more skilled, more disciplined than you currently are. And Magpie Brain thinks, I need that in my nest. So Hamster clicks buy. The nest gets shinier. Nothing changes. Here's the uncomfortable truth buried in all of this. The dopamine hit was never about learning. It was about acquiring. Those are two completely different things. And Magpie Brain has been quietly convincing you they're the same. Part 2. Why buying feels better than learning. Here's where the science gets genuinely uncomfortable. Behavioral researchers have studied what happens in the brain during the anticipation of a reward versus the actual receipt of it. And consistently, the anticipation wins. The wanting feels better than the getting. Think about the last time you had something in your online cart for 3 days before buying it. You kept going back, kept looking at it. That pre-purchase window might have been more satisfying than the thing itself. This is not a character flaw. This is your dopamine system working exactly as designed. It evolved to get you to chase things, food, shelter, resources. The chase needed to feel good so you'd keep chasing. Actually getting the thing was almost beside the point. Now layer that onto a course purchase. The moment you click buy, you get the full dopamine reward. Your brain registers, I have taken action toward becoming better. Mission accomplished. Reward delivered. But here's the trap. If you never open the course, you stay in the fantasy. The fantasy where you are someone who owns a Python course, who has a folder called Personal Development, who is, at any moment, just about to become that better version of themselves. The moment you actually open the course, you have to confront reality. Lesson 1. You don't know this yet. You're a beginner. The fantasy pops. So Magpie Brain, very rationally, from its own perspective, decides, let's just keep the fantasy. Shelf the course. Buy another one. The nest stays shiny. The feeling stays good. And the skill stays exactly where it was. Part 3. Is this you? Let's do a quick audit. Don't worry. It's painless, mostly. 1. Open your laptop right now or just think about it. How many courses, ebooks, or programs do you own that you have never finished? If the number is higher than 3, your Magpie Nest is well established. 2. The last time you bought a course, did you think, it's on sale, I'll use it later? Quick follow-up question. Did later happen? 3. Have you ever bought courses on topics that have absolutely nothing to do with each other? AI agents, index fund investing, calligraphy, tax filing. Not because you have a plan, just because each one, in that moment, felt like the version of yourself you wanted to be. The tech-savvy hamster. The financially independent hamster. The hamster with beautiful handwriting. The hamster who finally understands what a tax deduction is. All of them living in a folder called courses. None of them showing up in real life. 4. This is the sneaky one. After you bought your last course, what was the first thing you did? Did you open it? Or did you download it? Maybe screenshot the confirmation email? Maybe tell a friend you were getting into something new, and then not actually start? If you're nodding and slightly cringing right now, you're not alone. You're just finally seeing the magpie for what it is. Part 4. The Future Self-Trap. Here's the mechanism underneath all of this. Behavioral economists call this future self-continuity. When Hamster buys a course, he's not buying it for the hamster who exists right now tired, a little distracted, with 11 browser tabs open. He's buying it for future hamster. Future hamster wakes up at 6 a.m. Future hamster has a clean desk and a focused mind and genuinely looks forward to grinding through Module 4. Future hamster is, frankly, a completely different hamster. The problem is that future hamster never actually shows up. Because when tomorrow comes, you're still the same hamster, same energy levels, same distractions, same resistance to starting. And here's where it gets even more specific. Research shows that our brains process our future selves similarly to how we process strangers. Not ourselves, strangers. So, when present-day hamster buys a course for future hamster, he's essentially doing a favor for someone he doesn't fully identify with, which explains why it feels so easy to let future hamster down. He's not really you yet. This also explains why expensive courses are somehow both more motivating and less likely to be completed. The more it costs, the more vivid and aspirational future hamster feels. And the bigger the gap between now you and that imagined future you, the harder it is to actually start. Part 5. 3 ways to outsmart the magpie. Alright, enough diagnosis. Let's fix it. First, test before you buy. Before purchasing any course or book, find free content on the same topic, YouTube, a podcast episode, a blog post, and spend 30 minutes with it. Actually sit down and engage with it. If you make it through 30 minutes and want more, that's genuine interest. Go buy the course. If you lose focus after 10 minutes and start checking your phone, that's Magpie Brain looking for a new, shiny thing, not a real learning need. The buy button is easy. The free preview is the filter. Most impulse course purchases don't survive this test, which means most impulse course purchases were never really about learning. Second, the one active course rule. Simple constraint. You cannot buy a new course until you have finished or consciously decided to abandon your current one. Not paused. Not, I'll get back to it. Finished or closed. This does 2 things. It forces you to actually complete things. And it reveals how many of your I need this purchases were just Magpie Brain responding to a sale notification. Most limited time offers aren't actually limited. That Udemy course will be 94% off again next week, and the week after. Magpie Brain's urgency is almost always manufactured. Third, move the dopamine hit. Right now, your brain rewards you for buying. Rewire it to reward you for starting. Concretely, the rule is no telling anyone about a course, no adding it to a currently learning list, no any form of social acknowledgement until you have completed the first full lesson. You don't get the satisfaction signal until you actually begin. This sounds small. It isn't. You're relocating the reward from acquisition to action, which is exactly where it needs to be if anything in that folder is ever going to get used. Part 6. The real point. Here's what this all comes down to. The magpie's nest looks impressive. 43 shiny things, carefully collected, but the magpie can't fly any higher because of it. You don't have a learning problem. You have a collecting problem dressed up as a learning problem. Every course you buy without opening sends your brain a quiet signal. I'm the kind of person who invests in myself. And then nothing changes. Real learning doesn't feel like buying. It feels like the slightly uncomfortable moment when you open something and realize you don't know it yet. That discomfort is the actual start line. So here's your one thing for today. Find the last course you bought and never opened. Open it. Watch the first 10 minutes. Right now. Not after this video. Now. The magpie already has the shiny thing. Time to actually use it. The hamster worked hard on this one. Give it a like and subscribe. Because Hamster just bought 3 courses on how to grow a YouTube channel and hasn't opened a single one.